Okay, time to do area. Remember, perimeter and area are very similar. Perimeter, we're measuring the distance around. So like if your parents wanted to put a fence around your backyard, they'd have to know how much wood to buy by measuring this side of the backyard, this side of the backyard, this side of the backyard, this side of the backyard. And if you have any little corners, it wouldn't be a perfect rectangle. So they'd be measuring the perimeter of your backyard to figure out how much fencing. This area is not the measurement around, it's the measure inside. It's like if they were going to carpet your room. So if you carpet the room, you're not putting carpet around the edges like a fence. You're putting carpet in the area inside the walls, right? So area, perimeter, and both of them are pretty close to being the same way that we get them. Remember, perimeter, we just add up all the sides together, okay? Area, we're going to measure inside, and it's actually, we use multiplication, makes it even easier. Okay, area is length times width. So this is saying if this was 3 units, 1, 2, 3, and this is 2 units, 1, 2, we would do 2 times 3, that gives us how many area inside? There's 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you see that? So you probably knew how to add this up before, right? If you have 2 rows of 3, it's much easier to go 2 times 3 is 6 than go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I know counting to 6 is easy, but it's much easier, faster to multiply, especially if you have bigger numbers. This is just 2 and 3. If you had like 100 by 120, you want to stop and count all those squares? I don't think so. But if you did 100 times 120, that would be much faster. All right, so get out your paper. Oh, and by the way, it's measured in square units. Square units, because this is a square. Like that would be like a square, like maybe 3 square inches. Yeah, that's about 4 square inches. 4 square inches, and if you had a 4 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches, we would call that 16 square inches, because you would do 4 times 4. Okay? So, and it makes a square. So it's a square unit. With perimeter, if we were measuring around this, we would say just 4 inches. But if you're measuring the area inside, it would be 4 square inches. And you can abbreviate it that way. Okay? So now let's look down here. It says write a multiplication equation to find the area. Okay? So number 1, multiplication's much faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 squares across. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares down. So we can write area, A stands for area. A equals 9 times 7, which is 63. And it doesn't say inches or feet or yards, so we don't know that, so we just write 63 square units because we don't know what the units are. Okay, up here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Area equals 9 times 2 rows, right? So area equals, we're supposed to write an equation. 9 times 2 equals 18 square units. The faster way of doing square I'll show you on this next one. Okay, this one we don't have to count because it tells us. So we're going to write area equals 35 times 13, which equals, I know we have 2 equal signs here. Actually, this is the way we do it in the other book. I don't know if you have to write that way, because an equation would be like that. Okay, and I don't know about you, but I can't do that one in my head. 35 times 10 is 350. 35 times 3 would be 105, I think. So that would be 455. Let's see if my head did it right. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 1 plus 5 is 5. 1 plus 3 is 3. 5, 5, 4. I did it right, but always best to double check. 450 feet, 455 square feet. If you make this little 2, it's called an exponent. If you make a little exponent 2, that means square. That means you had to multiply this times this to get it square feet. and it's faster than writing SQ. Your choice. You can either write square feet or you can do it that way. Mine's off the page now, but you guys can see it. This next one will be 10 times 12 equals 120 square yards, because this one's in yards and that means square. Can you see that? Not very well. Okay, now the second section says complex area is found by dividing the larger shape into smaller shapes and then finding the area of each shape. Combine the areas found. So not every room is exactly square. Remember our classroom? Up here by the board, there's the door. There's the door. Okay, so there's a square corner there, but then you come across the board. And remember we have this little nook right here where my radio is and the pencil sharpener is. See that little corner? Then the wall bumps out a little bit. The reason it bumps out is because the air conditioning stuff is back there. So you'd have to, you can't see down here, but the carpet, if you were to put carpet there, you'd have to make a little funny extra flap to include this section, because it's a square for the rest of the room except right there. And of course back there by my desk. I haven't changed this room since you guys were here last. I've had no reason to, and I've been staying at home like we're supposed to. Okay, so there's a little extra square back there for my desk. So if you're making the carpet, you would have a great big square in the middle of the room, but then you'd have to cut an extra little square for my desk, and that extra little square over here in the corner, where is it? Right over here. Everything's backwards. I told you yesterday, everything on here is backwards and everything reads backwards while I'm recording. Okay, so when you have two little units, it says make this a square and figure out that one, then make this one a square and figure out that one, and then add the two together is what they're saying. So it's called a complex area. It's not simple. It's not just a simple square. It's complex, okay? So we're going to do the same thing we did up there on these. Write a multiplication equation to find the area. Okay, so let's write this big one up here. This big one is 20 yards. By 28 by 12 by 10. Well, okay. So this line is the same as this line. I should know this. Okay, this line is 20. This line is 20. Okay, so to find the area. I'm going to have to think for a second. I forgot. Let's start with this one. This one's so much easier. Okay, to get back on track. This one is 6 times 6, which equals 36 yards, right? Okay, if we do just this one, we have to do 20 times this measurement, and they don't give us this measurement, but they do give us this measurement. Okay, so this line is 28, this line stops right here and it's 10. So if we take 28 minus this, it'll give us that. Do you see? So get rid of this little part of this line, because this line goes all the way across. So it's this line is what we need to measure. And we don't know what it is because they didn't tell us up there. They're making us work. How dare they make us think? Okay, so they told us this one though, which is 28, and they told us this little one is 10. So 28 minus 10, haha, we were smarter, we figured it out. You didn't trick us. Okay, this one up here then is 18. Okay? So this measurement right here is going to be, I'm going to write it inside, 20 times 18 equals, if we drop our 0 and do 18 times 2, that's 36. So this one is 360 square yards. Okay? And then this one, we don't even need that 28 now because we know this one is 10 by 12. So if you can write it in here, 10 times 12 equals 120 square yards. So in order to find the whole area, we have to add these together. 360 plus 120 equals 480 square yards. Do you see? Okay, so we did these two. Now we have to do, I'll go ahead and help you with the next two, these two, and I'm gonna let you do 7 and 10 by yourselves, okay? All right, so the same thing here. That one stymied me for a second. It's been so long since I've done such a thing. Okay, so we have this rectangle and this little rectangle. This one is 8 times 4. That's easy. 8 times 4 equals 32 square, whoops, not yards this time, square feet. And then they were nice and they told us these two. Why did they start with such a hard one? Okay, this one is 16 times 8, which equals, I don't know that one in my head. This is 8 is 48. 128 square feet. Okay, so together we have 128 plus 32 equals 160 square feet. I'm going to circle these because these are our answers. This one was easy. Oops, I forgot the square. Did you catch that? Evan, I bet Evan caught that. Square yards. Or Demetrius. I bet one of them caught it. Okay, now this one. Oh, look at this. This is a fun one. There's a rectangle there. There's a rectangle there. And a little rectangle. So we have 3 to do this time. I think it's fun. Don't you think it's kind of fun? I do. Hey, and especially when they're easy numbers. This one's 2 times 2. 2 times 2 equals 4 centimeters squared. Okay, this one's 2. Uh-oh, wait. Okay, this one is 2, and that one's 2, but we don't know what this one is. Okay, but we know this is 2, and this over here is 2, and it's just half of that, so what would that one be? 1. So each one of those is 1. So we say 2 times 1 centimeter equals 2 centimeters. Wow, this is so hard. And down here, it's 1 by 1. 1 times 1 equals 1 centimeter squared. Now we have to add them all up. So 4 plus 2 plus 1. This must be carpet for your Barbie castle. Do you guys still play with things like that? The carpet inside a little dollhouse because it's very small, very, very small, probably Polly Pockets or something. Okay, 4 plus 2 plus 1, and these are centimeters, not inches. That's even smaller. It's like the width of your finger. Remember the width of your pinky from here to here? That's about a centimeter. So this is 7 centimeters square. So this whole thing is only going to need about 7 pinkies by 7 pinkies of carpets. Okay, so we did those 4. You guys have 2 more that are off the page over here to do. Do number 7 and number 10 on your own. 10 is easy. 7 is kind of fun. It has a little fun part. All right, we are in the tabernacle, which is one of the lessons we had to skip to be able to be on time to finish the other stuff that we normally. And they're showing the different parts of the tabernacle. God was very specific when he told them how to build the tabernacle. He gave them specific measurements. So you can go to the Bible. Now their measurements were different. They used cubits and, well, it looks mostly like cubits here. Sometimes they have some very different sounding measurements. But we know the cubits were about 12 inches, or no, looks like 18 inches wide. A cubit was about 18 inches wide. Okay, so we're going to look at these story problems that have to do with those pieces of the tabernacle, the holy tabernacle that Moses and Aaron, they used to carry them when they were on the road to the promised land. They had their own church they carried with them. The mercy seat was 2.5 cubits long. They even do the math for you. How nice of them. And 1.5 cubits wide. What was the area of the mercy seat in square inches? Okay, so we would do 2.5 times 1.5 I can't remember. Have you guys learned to do I think we did. Did we do the Karsten? Yeah, we did. I remember explaining it to you, but it's been a while. We do the backward C or the upside down C or the Karsten C, I call it, because he would write a C like this. Okay? So you go around and first you multiply. These are halves. So how many halves would be 2 whole? 2 whole pizzas, if you divided it up into half, you'd end up with 4 halves, right? 2 times 2 is 4. Plus another half is 5. So we're going to do 5 halves times 1 1/2. We're going to do the same thing with this, the upside down C. 2 times 1, how many halves would there be with 1 whole pizza and a half? 1 whole pizza equals 2 halves, right? Plus another one, that's 3 halves. Or you could go around and do 2 times 1 is 2 plus the extra 1 is 3. So 3 halves. And then multiplying fractions, I don't think we've done that yet, have we? That's weird that they would put this in here. Okay, 5 times 3 is so easy. You just multiply across. Multiplying fractions is easier than adding and subtracting them. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 2 is 4. And then remember, if it's improper, we divide the top number by the bottom number, write the remainder as a fraction. So 4 times 4 is 16. That's too much, though. So it equals 3. 3 times 4 is 12. What's 15 minus 12? It'd be 3 3/4 square inches. That does not sound right. What did we do wrong? Oh, this is not... I was going to say, I can't believe they're doing this to you because I don't think we've learned... I can't remember now because I know the leopards have, but I can't remember if zebras have done the multiplying fractions yet. Well, that's pretty easy, but I didn't think about this. Demetrius was probably saying it, weren't you? We were supposed to do the part we know how to do, inches. So we would have done 27 times 45. You guys can write down that inch. Then it would be that many square inches. Let's say that's a very small 3 inches. I don't think so. See, you got to stop and do your common sense check. Do you think God made this tabernacle place with only 3-inch seat? The Ark of the Covenant was much bigger than that. Remember, it took 4 men to carry it. Would it take 4 men to carry a little thing this size? See, use your common sense and say, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. It's not 3 3/4 inches. It's 3 3/4 cubits, but we don't know what that means. That's different. It's supposed to be inches. Okay, the table of showbread. This time we'll do it right. I'm sorry about that. 36 inches by 18 inches. Okay, so we're going to write 36 times 18 equals so many square inches. I will give you those set up, but I'm going to let you do them because you don't have much to do here. Curtain, 28 by 4. Do the same thing. 28 by 4. 10. Curtains, 10. There were 10 curtains used in the tabernacle. Explain how to find the area of the 10 curtains. Okay, that one is a little harder. You do those two. 10 curtains used in the tabernacle. Explain how to find the area of the 10 curtains. The area of the 10 curtains would be... It would be 10 times 10, but we don't know. Let me look at my book here. There's 10 times 10 curtains, but so it would end up with 100. You know what? This one doesn't even give us an answer. It says explanations may vary. I don't like that question. Ask some of your parents, might be able to get it, but it doesn't tell us the size of the curtains. Or did it? Did it tell us the size of the curtains? Ah, that's why. It's like they don't tell us any information. Okay, this one goes with this one. So once you get the area of each curtain, okay, so the area is square inches, then you're going to take this answer, that answer times 10. Because you need the area of the 10. Okay, that answer times 10 gives you how many square inches you need for all 10. And don't worry about explaining, just do the problem. Okay, then we have on the bottom underneath that, name the shape according to the number of sides. Oh, we're back to reviewing. Okay, so if you can't remember, you can either use your math your math folder with all those measurements in the back, or you can go back, it's back about 4 pages, and go see what these shapes are according to the number of sides. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unless you remember what shape has 5 sides, and then write an equation. So I'll give you this one. This one is, actually I should give you an easy one. We'll stick to this one. There's 5, so that makes it a pentagon. Penta means 5. Okay, and it says to write an equation to find the perimeter. Remember, perimeter is the distance around. So this would be 5 sides times 10 equals 50. This is, what is an m, do you know? It's a meter, squared meters. Okay, so do those two exactly the same way. Write an equation and write the name of the shape. If you don't know the name of the shape, look it up in your math book or math folder. And then same thing down here, perimeter and area. Okay, so I'll do this hard one with you. The perimeter, remember, is just the area around. We add them all up. The area is the parts inside. Okay, so let's add it up first for perimeter. Perimeter is 5 plus 4, that's 9, plus 8 is 17, plus 2 is 19. 19 what? Feet. And this time it's not square feet. Perimeter is just straight feet. Okay? Area is square feet. And there's 2, looks like squares to me, 2 squares. Okay, this one is 2 feet by something, we don't know. This one is 5 feet by 4 feet. And we know this side is also 5 because it's the same as that one. And this would be the same as this one. So we're going to do 5 times 4, which is 20 feet. Okay, and if we know this one is 8 and this one is 5, we can subtract that part. So if this one right here stops here, it'd be 8 minus 5 equals 3, right? So this is 3 times 2, which is 6, and add those two together. 20 plus 6 is 26. So it's 26 square feet. Okay, because remember with area, we have to have it in square units. So over here, same thing here. You're going to have square units and regular units. And this one's an easy one, so you guys can do that one. Okay? And that is the little page. That's it. Good job. See you again tomorrow.